I'm Stephanie Prescott.
I'm Rebecca Hess.
And we get the pleasure of working together here at REMAX, and we occasionally get to go live together to give real estate information, tips, updates, things like that, and just general living in Cheyenne and Wyoming and fun things that happen.
Yeah.
So Rebecca and her husband, and my husband Steve, and Tammy and John Facemeyer, and Brent and Amy Levitt, we all just went to Alaska.
Yes, which was awesome. So much
It
fun.
was awesome. I'd been there one time before, swore I would never go back, but I did go because they kind of coerced me into it.
We totally cornered her and threatened her life. So
I felt
she
a little
came.
violated, but we had a great time. I'm glad we
did. It was awesome.
Planned it for 14 months.
Yes.
And I just was thinking about how Alaska and real estate can relate.
Yeah.
The highs and the lows, and
For sure. And it was all week long, right?
yeah.
Mostly it was high. I think mostly we had a really good time, but there were moments where... like,
Well,
what are
for
we doing
me,
here?
salmon fishing was like watching paint dry because we just went along and along and along and along, like 3 hours along, and we would catch one salmon. But when you did catch the salmon,
It was fun.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
So that kind of reminded me.
Yeah, well, and that's funny because I actually really like salmon fishing.
Mm.
I like the waiting for it, and then when you do get that salmon, you hear it going. It's so exciting, and
Yeah.
jumping out. And then I feel about halibut fishing. I'm like, all I want to do is take a nap, which is great unless you want to visit and stuff. But I'm just like, falling asleep on that boat. So that's how halibut fishing is to me. Is I would like to sleep.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed the halibut fishing because we actually caught
we were
halibut.
catching halibut. That was
And,
fun because we were
yeah,
catching that. Yeah,
We were able to reach our limit every day that we were
Yeah.
there, so that was incredible.
That was awesome.
And I just made some, and it was wonderful. But it also, the salmon fishing, you would get it all the way to the boat,
Mhm.
and then it would get off the
Yes.
hook. So
Yeah.
that,
Which is relatable to real
it's
estate because you
relatable
can get
to
all
real
the way to
estate.
closing and then something falls apart.
Yes.
I'm working on one today that we're hoping to close next week, and we need one document. Of course, it has to come from the IRS, which I don't know where we're going to be come Tuesday when we're supposed to close, but hopefully we get there. But yeah, you can relate. I guess you can relate fishing to salmon and fishing in general to real estate all day long if you wanted to.
Right. Well, even in Alaska, it rained all the time. I was there the
Yeah.
first time ever in my life, and then this time it was pouring rain, like a pouring I've never experienced before. But yet you see bear eating them around the side of the road, and you get to see all those salmon. That was in Juneau, because
Yeah.
I didn't see too many of them where our lodge was. But you're just going along, and there will be beautiful sunrise. You'll see eagle.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys all saw whales. I don't know where I was. I didn't see any whales.
She missed them twice. We saw them twice, and she missed them both times. We tried.
Yeah. So that's the same way in anything you do in your life, right?
Yeah,
There are highs and there are
for
lows,
sure.
and there are great things.
For
You have to keep
sure.
your eyes open for opportunities and things that are
Yeah.
exciting to you. So anyway, it was a great
Yeah, it
trip.
was
Thank
great.
you for making me go. And it's too soon. Hashtag too soon to see
To
if
book
we'll
again?
ever do it again. But I thoroughly enjoyed that.
That's okay. I'm up for seeing all over the world, so we can go anywhere.
Oh,
I'm good with
okay.
somewhere
Then
else.
I'll be in. Then I'll
This
be
is more. I love the fishing. It's fun, but my husband, he loves this, so it's kind of the trade-off. He gets us every year.
Mhm.
We do it, but I prefer to be on a beach. Truthfully, I mean, I love fishing, but I prefer to be on a beach somewhere. So
Right.
let's do that.
We'll do something. Deal. So anyway, today I was hoping that you would just kind of tell me what's going on with listings.
Yeah. So I actually pulled up just a little while ago on our MLS to see what was going on. And as of this morning, we have 343 residential properties on market.
344.
343 is what I said. But unless you know something I don't know.
I heard something different.
Okay.
I can't help it.
343.
I can't even hear
I'm
in the
like,
closed room.
like, I'll have to go check and see which one you're talking about. But I saw 343.
I think so. I think there's a listing.
And we had, I looked for this same day last year, and we had 409. So we are down as far as what was going on
Wow.
last year. So we are definitely down as far as how many listings we have on market. I did look in the last 7 days, how many under contracts, how many homes went pending under contract, and we had 41. So that's pretty good. I mean, I think houses are selling. Things are moving. Houses are selling. I also did a quick look on the commercial properties because I do have some commercial listings and I work with that sometimes. And right now we have 125 commercial properties on market and only one went under contract last week.
Okay.
So commercial is definitely not moving as fast, which it tends to do that in our market. Residential we see what happens with residential and then commercial follows that. So that's what I've seen. But anyway, those are our statistics as of today.
Okay.
And I think personally, because I try to look every week, it's kind of a day-by-day, week-by-week thing right now.
Right.
Is what I'm seeing.
Right.
So.
And we're not even into Labor Day. A lot of times it's September when it picks up. And I noticed in our own office here that more stuff went under contract.
Yeah.
More homes, not stuff, I guess they're homes, houses, land, commercial, whatever it is, went under contract last week. So that number makes sense.
Yeah.
So good time. Good time for someone to list their home?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a great time for someone to list their home. I also think it's a great time for someone to buy their home. Mm-hmm. I think, like I said, each day to day, week to week, I don't know if you can predict exactly what's going to happen, but I just think it is a good time. And then looking at where we were last year to this year, less on market, and homes are still selling. So, it's a good time.
Good job. Yeah. I know. She was working in the fishing lodge.
We were. We had all of us with our computers out there at some point working hard. So
what is that? Starlink. Starlink really allowed all these realtors to continue to work.
Which was nice. We haven't always had that. So we were happy with that upgrade at the lodge to have internet access, which was good.
Right. Yeah. That was really good. And so today, here we are, we're sitting talking about being in Alaska. We're live at REMAX Capital Properties in Cheyenne. Today's Steve's birthday.
Yes,
big shout out to my man,
birthday.
Steve Prescott. It's his birthday. If you see him, give him whatever you want to do.
High five. I wanted to know if we had that big face we could bring in and put a little hug,
we could have.
Should have brought that in. We could have done some kind of tribute to Steve for his birthday today.
So then what about back to school?
Yeah. Well, I have to be honest. Guess who didn't give a crap this year? Me. Because I don't have any kids in school. My youngest has graduated, so not that I don't give a crap, because I love to see your posts, and I'm excited for all of you, but I didn't have to do a thing. It didn't change my world 1 minute this year.
Yeah. Well, it did
awesome.
mine. I never expected to be so choked up sending my youngest to his senior year in high school, but totally gearing up for all the Cheyenne sports.
All the sports.
So in our house, it's all football. Mm-hmm. Richard, he'll start up at NSU, his first game hopefully it's the 6th of September. But Cheyenne Central, they start this weekend, so that would mean Eastwood and Southwood also. Yeah. And so you don't have any?
I don't have anyone.
Have to come
I know. I think we might try and hit a volleyball tournament this weekend just because Emma's in town and we love to see that. But I don't have anybody in sports. I don't have anybody in school. My schedule did not change at all.
Well, even Erin's kid graduated, so we'll just have to all go see Taylor.
She's
going to have to jam on the volleyball court for all of us to live through her.
That's awesome.
Too, but so if you said it was a good time to sell. You said the number of listings are down.
Yeah.
So if you were going to sell your home today, what are your top tips for selling?
So I can speak personal about this because we are getting our home ready to put on the market right now.
Oh, that's right.
So the things we are doing, and like I said, I'll put my money where my mouth is on this. It's a good time to sell and it's a good time to buy. So we're looking at selling a property, and then I'm also looking at buying another investment property, hopefully before the end of the year. So money where my mouth is. I'm preaching what I practice here. But as far as our house, we've had some projects we needed to finish up, some construction, and my husband's busy at home doing that today.
Good job, Colin.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. But we're getting floors ordered and finishing it up and hoping to be on market. We've got some big family events coming up in the next couple weeks, but as soon as that's done, hoping to have that on market. But we're really concentrating on getting little projects done. So making sure there's no things unfinished. Because I do think when seller or buyers walk through, they do see things unfinished. And that to them is things I have to do once I buy the house. Okay. So get things finished, which can be hard. It doesn't feel like big things, but when you have a lot of little things, it can be overwhelming. So I would say get things finished on the house. That includes your garage, your yard, the exterior, everything. So that would be one piece of advice I would get. And then find a great agent to help you. I have bought for sell by owner before. I've done that, and I've also worked with great agents. And now that I know what I know, absolutely. Get an agent to help you, because you get the expertise from a real estate agent. Usually, almost always results in a higher sell price. And I know the commission is where the want, I guess, to go for sell by owner. But even with that commission, you're going to end up with more money, less headache, and then obviously all the things that can go wrong. And we see it all the time in a transaction.
Right.
So
there's so much legal.
Oh, so much legal.
stuff
Yeah.
today, and it's
Yeah, and it just
changed.
keeps coming, doesn't it? Every time we turn
Right.
around, there's another form we need to sign. Or
Right.
we just had First American Title in and talked to us about other things that we need to have now our sellers sign
Right.
to make sure things go smoothly through these transactions. So that would be it. Get a good agent, and that agent is going to be able to really help you look at those comps in the area, compare your houses to other houses, see what's selling, see what's not. And then the other piece of advice I would have is to price it really strategically. And that will depend differently on each seller, I guess, right? So for us, we don't want to hold on to the house all winter. So we know value-wise where we've put it at, and we're actually going to list a little bit lower than that because I feel like we'll probably generate some buyers pretty quickly if we do that. Right. Now, if I had, or if I wanted to, didn't really care and let it sit for a while, there's probably no harm in going a little bit higher, listing a little bit higher, but you have to be aware of days on market, and you have to be aware of what's happening around you, and just keep that in mind. Right. So anyway, that's the advice I'd give. I'm doing it myself, so those are the things we're working on right now.
Good job. So, Good job. I know that Steve and I, we were doing some documents at a bank the other day, and they said they, have a good feeling about some of the interest rates and stuff. So if you're telling me the homes are already down, it's just imperative to get an agent to help you. And we can't create buyers, right?
Yeah,
that's what we can't do for our listings, but we do a fantastic job of marketing our listings and getting eyes onto our listings. And sometimes you just are like, okay, now we're ready for the buyers. And so when you do all the right things, then that's the part that
we've got to
you do that all right.
Yeah, in front of as many people as possible, right? And through our marketing, it's incredible here at REMAX, the marketing we have. But that's the goal from an agent standpoint, is to try and get that house out in front of as many people as possible. And not just people in Cheyenne, but people in Colorado, people in California, people we know are kind of migrating this direction. So we have to know where to send that, but definitely get it out in front of as many people as possible.
Right.
So
well, and in my opinion, that's what we do is the marketing for our listings and for the homes that we have here to sell. Yeah. And so then we, on top of that, being a part of the REMAX brand, the REMAX global brand, that helps us to always have the lowest days on market for the last 10 years for our listings. But
absolutely. And we're proud of that. I'm proud of that.
I'm proud of that. I think it's great. We work hard. We work hard, and we do everything that we can to set those listings up. It's a really interesting time of year because for me, I've watched, not being an agent, I've watched kind of it slow down a little bit at this time of year. But we're seeing that's not being isn't the case right now.
Yeah.
And so who knows what the fall's going to hold.
Exactly. That's why I say there's no way to really predict it. I mean, I kind of have a feeling on where I think things are going, but this is a feeling according to Rebecca, not,
Well, Rebecca's pretty smart. Don't let her fool you. You might want to listen to what she says.
I mean, it could fall apart tomorrow, but I do have an idea of where I feel things are going. We can talk about that, but you had mentioned interest rates. Right. So I actually looked up because I was kind of curious about this, and not until I started selling real estate did I really care much about interest rates, but it is something I actively follow and pay attention to because it does affect my job. Right. But I actually pulled up, so the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City Economic Policy Symposium was in Jackson Hole this last week. Wow. And I didn't even know what that was, so I Googled it to find out. But it was a big deal, and it was on the news, and I wanted to know. It says it's one of the longest standing central banking conferences in the world.
And does it move around, or is it always
Jackson Hole every year, is my understanding.
Who knew, right? I'm sure some people watching, they're
like, we knew that. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
So I looked up because we heard the rumors after they had this conference, right? But they're talking about inflation, labor markets, trade, all these things, and it's bankers, it's the feds, it's journalists, academics, financial industry leaders, and government officials that all meet together. I think they said they had 150 people there for this, and they talk about it. And then, of course, for us, the Fed Chair Jerome Powell did get up and talk, and what came of that was that he is opening the door to interest rate cuts in September.
Yeah, that's what we've been hearing too.
Yeah, so that, from my perspective, just means, like I said, I have a feeling where it's going. If we do see some cuts in September, even a cut in September, because we haven't had any, it's definitely going to affect our market.
Yeah, it just makes you feel good. Yeah. And then you realize what you can buy.
Yeah.
In addition to it, I'm quite certain my first little townhome I bought was 7% or something, and that was even a savings and loans repo, if you can imagine. If anyone even knows what that is anymore. But it just is what you did.
Yeah.
And so we got used to those really low. And that was a basically an unnatural low.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
are they saying anything about how much they might lower?
They are
or
not.
they're tight-lipped?
No, they haven't said anything about how much we might be looking at. And that is something to consider when we talk about what's going to happen, right? Because depending on how much will affect it one way or the other. If the rates do come down, we're going to see lower interest rates on mortgages, making it easier for people to get into the market. So we're going to have more buyers coming into our market.
Good.
People are going to be able to afford more of a house than what they may have been looking at over the last 3-6 months, year, because interest rates haven't changed much in the last year. We're going to have an increased buyer demand, which when we're at 343 homes on market, we're already in a market, or in a housing shortage anyway.
Right.
We just don't have a huge housing, there's not a lot out there right now, so it's going to make it a little bit harder, I think. So as far as a good time to sell a house, definitely.
Right.
But the flip side there, as a buyer, it's a great time to buy a house too.
Right.
So anyway, so I think potentially we might see down the road if interest rates continue to come down. This will be kind of the first one if we see it in September. But if interest rates continue to come down over the next 6-12 months, we might see prices on homes go up a little bit. But I think for right now, they're going to kind of hold steady where we're at, is what I'm seeing, until we really start to feel comfortable with these interest rates coming down.
Well, they're even a little, what is if you list a home for X, how much are you selling it off the list price with concessions?
Yeah. I think last time I looked, I think we were at, we're still at like 96%.
Okay.
To list price. Obviously the different price ranges are going to be, the statistics are going to be a little bit different. And like our new builds, we have quite a few new builds out there, a lot in that kind of price range in that market. So that's going to be different than our homes that are under 500,000. So it all depends on the price range. But yeah, I think we're still, last time I looked, and it's been a week or two since I've looked, but I think we were still around 96%.
So you might get back up to, instead of prices really going crazy again like they did in 21, you maybe just get back up to 100%.
Back up to where
maybe.
Absolutely.
So when someone's needing closing costs or something, some of that gets more challenging for them. But if our focus today is if you're considering selling your home, is it a good time? The answer is yes.
Yeah. Well, and then when you're going to list your home, that's something to consider is when you're looking at your prices, do I want to price it in a way that if somebody comes in and asks me for closing costs, I'm okay to do that? Or do I want to price it in a way that I'm going to get the most people through the door?
Right.
And I think they're two different things.
Right.
So we have an inflated price a little bit maybe, hoping we can offset some of the requests the buyer's going to ask for.
Right.
Or we just go in with a lower price and try and get as many buyers as we can. So I think it's just strategy and whatever as a seller you want to do. So
that is strategy on the pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting to me, and I watch it. You'll have some listings that really are sitting.
Yeah.
And then some are still a multiple offer.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. It's the most interesting market that
I
remember being and watching with you guys. I'm not an agent, but I watch it and I've been around it the majority of my life. And so I just am blown away. You'll have a beautiful home sitting. And so the people who can buy the higher priced homes are the cash buyers.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're still seeing them.
Seeing a lot of cash buyers.
Started in 2020 and we are still seeing them, right? When COVID came and we started to see that influx of cash buyers come in, we're still seeing them. They're still coming in.
Right.
So, yeah.
So that's going to be very interesting. I guess I would be curious to ask you, what do you think? What do you think will happen? What's an interest rate that's going to make you, either on your own or as a family or as an investor, what interest rate is going to be the interest rate that causes you to say, okay, we're ready to start to look?
Yeah.
Because it does increase your buying power. So if you've been looking at homes in your price range right now and you feel like that's just not where you want to be, but the interest rate comes down so it frees up some buying power, are you going to jump? And if so, tell us. We're very curious to know. What number is that? Do you have a number? Is it more of a feeling? A lot of us do emotional buying. I mean, a lot of things are emotional buying. And then there's the logical, well, I can't or I can avoid that or afford that. And so, we're really interested to know. So let us know in the comments and then we'll address that in our next video.
Yeah, that's a great question. And also for investors, I work with a lot of investors. At what point does the interest rate? I do. Does that interest rate push them back into the market? And I say that, but I think most investors who have done this long enough and are wise to the game and the interest rates really don't affect their decision so much to purchase.
Right.
Because they know it's a long game with this, and so you play the game with the interest rates, whether that's refinancing or. But yeah, I think interest rates. What is the magic number that's going to get people back in there, right?
Do you have one in your
mind?
No,
I don't.
What do you think the answer is going to be?
I think if we can get back down into the 5s, closer to 5, I think that's a really comfortable number for most people.
Where are we today?
That's a good question. We're at 6. Last time I looked, we were at 6.325 is last time I looked. That was a couple days ago. I think we have had some VAs. I just had a VA buyer that bought it at 5.99. So we're creeping down a little bit, but I still think we're in the 6s for that. And then for investment properties, we do our investments through a commercial. We're still at 8% on a lot of those. So it is what it is.
So you heard it here first.
According to Rebecca.
When you see 5%, you better do something.
Oh, don't wait that long, because by then the houses will be just, I don't know. I guess that would be where I'd end right there. My prediction, according to me, is I do think it's going to be a busy fall. And especially if those interest rates cut it all, because everybody's been waiting for that. And it's been the word, right? The topic that everybody's just kind of been clinging on to. And I think if we do see any kind of cut, it's going to become a much busier market.
It'll be interesting to see. One of my favorite terms this year has been the lockdown effect.
Yeah.
You've got the people that just can't give up the 2 to 3% interest rate with the increase in home prices and all that. And so if you're kind of nerdy like I am, the stats will be fascinating to me. So
great.
Thank you for sharing kind of what's going on in the Cheyenne real estate market today and your prediction.
Yeah, we'll see.
Rebecca Hess.
I guess you should hold me to it. This is what I do, but I apologize if I'm wrong.
Live from REMAX Capital Properties, you heard it first from Rebecca Hess. August 27th, 2025, Steve's birthday.
No pressure, though. No pressure.
Thanks for watching today. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments.